Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, Designs by Dana. I'm Dana, and today I'm so excited to be working with this beautiful paper pack from Close to My Heart / Stampin' Up. So this is purchased from Stampin' Up, but it is a Close to My Heart branded paper packet that was available July 3rd. It is still currently available. This is the paper packet with the sticker sheet. So let's take a look at this paper packet. It is called Secret Garden. So this was originally designed for the May National Scrapbooking Month special. So it's got a little bit more paper than a typical Close to My Heart paper packet would come with. So you're going to see a lot of repeating patterns here and here, and there's a reason for that. And you're going to see some there's a pattern and there's a reason for that. So let's walk through these. So you'll see we have the normal Close to My Heart branded zip strip with the product information, and then the other side has a really cute pattern on each one of these. And there's a color scheme within this paper packet. So the main colors are Periwinkle, Glacier, Peach. I keep wanting to say it's a pink color, but it's peach, honey, and honey butter. So here we see this beautiful floral pattern, and we're going to start with the periwinkle on one side, and then on the other side we have the glacier. And then we're going to repeat that pattern as we go through. So we have the same pattern in the peach, and then we have that again in the honey butter. So as we go through the paper packet, we've got this pattern with the glacier, and then we have it again in the periwinkle, and then we have the same pattern in the honey butter, and then we have it again in the peach. And then here we have another floral pattern, and we're repeating those same colors. So we have the periwinkle, the glacier, the peach, and the honey butter. So you see that theme as we carry out through the paper patterns. We also have two additional colors in this pack, which are kind of hidden here in the green. So we have some sage and we have some pine. So before I bring in the sticker sheet, I want to also show you the coordinating cardstock that I was able to purchase separately. Now, this cardstock pack is no longer available, but if you were able to snag it, you will have these patterns as well. Now, you can see as I'm fanning this out, each piece of paper has dual sides. So I'm showing you both sides of the patterns here. So again, we've got the periwinkle, the glacier, the honey butter, the peach, and then here we've got both of the greens. So this is the sage and the pine. So all of these papers coordinate with your pattern papers as well. So you've got that same color scheme carrying out throughout your cardstocks as well. So let me put that back aside and bring in the sticker sheet to show you how well everything coordinates and pulls in together. So we have some great nice stickers for titles, some subtitles, and some icons here, and even some journaling pieces, which really pulls everything together. So you can do some beautiful pieces with just the stickers. There was also a stamp set that came with this. I opted to not go with the stamp set, but what I did do is get the coordinating dies that go with this. So these are the dies, and it also came with kind of a cover sheet to kind of show you how you can put together some of these dies. So for today's project, I think I might incorporate the dies as well. We're going to see how this all develops, but I've got these handy and I think I might use these. So let me show you my pictures that I'm going to work with. I'm going to turn this upside down so we can kind of use this as kind of the platform of what I'm thinking. So this is going to be a single page layout. And these are my photos. I have two photos. So I'm starting an album for really my best friend. I call her my sister from another mister. And this family is a family with 8 children. So they are my adopted family. And we did a photo shoot here. This is Bud. He is my adopted father, and he is just turned 93 in October. And so his health is declining, and we did a photo shoot with Bud and all of the children, and then all of their children and grandchildren. So this photo shoot we did included, I think we counted 69 people and 1 dog. So we did this about 10, 11 years ago, and I did an album and gifted it to my friend Anne. We have been best friends since 4th grade. So we just did another photo shoot, and I want to do another album to gift to her. And Cindy is the oldest of all 8 children, so this is the page dedicated for Cindy. And I think this paper suite is going to be perfect for these photos. So each child will have a spread or a layout within this album with their children and grandchildren, but Cindy is an only child, so she will have just a single page. And this is what I'm thinking about for the layout. And then I'll have a title here with Cindy's name, and I'll add some details with her date of birth and information about Cindy to go into this album. So what I'm thinking, because the title or the top here really matches this peach. And when we did this photo shoot, each child wore a different color, so we could kind of separate the families out in the photos. So Cindy's color was this peach, and I think that this is going to tie in perfectly for her page. So when I first started looking at this, I started pulling out all of the peach papers. But then as I thought about that, I'm like, I don't want it to be totally monochromatic. I want to have some other colors in this layout as well. So what I'm thinking is I definitely want to use this floral paper, and I do want to use the peach color. And then I wanted to bring in some cardstock as well. So I wanted to bring in a little bit of variety. So we're going to flip through here, and I'm thinking that I want some of this sage. I want to bring in some more greens. So I'm going to pull in some of that. And then I'm thinking to add in some more green and some peach. I might bring in some of that color there. So I'm going to start with that and just kind of see how that goes. And we'll maybe add in some more, but I think that gives it a little bit more variety in just doing the totally monochromatic of the peach colors. So that's my plan. And we'll see how that goes, and we may add in some more of those colors as we start to cut things down and work through that. And again, I am going to plan, things may never go as planned, but I'm going to try to incorporate the thin cuts in there, and I may use some of the pattern papers for my thin cut flowers. But we'll get all this mess out of the way and start cutting down some papers and see how that all ties together and get started. To preserve my pattern paper, I'm using a sheet of old off-white cardstock as my base, and then I was able to cut down my pretty peach pattern paper here, and that way I was able to preserve, and then I'll just cover up that off-white colored cardstock underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and layer in all of my pieces, and while I do that, I wanted to point out to you that I did ink all of the edges of my paper pieces. So if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that that's one of my signature traits, and that I like to have all of my edges nicely inked. And I do that with a sponge. And this piece here that I'm adding, I decided to bring in some of that peach cardstock as well. So it's a little hard to tell on camera, but that's the diamond shaped pattern piece. And I also decided that I probably needed to bring in a little bit more color. So I'm bringing in the honey butter yellow. I brought in a zip strip, and I'm using the yellow for my photo mats and my title as well. And you can see here with my title, I did go to the Cricut and cut out Cindy's name for the title, and I cut that out 5 or 6 times, and I layered it up. So I'm just kind of showing you how I'm doing the last layer here. And I could have used the adhesive sheets for this, but then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to kind of wiggle that around like I'm doing here to get them all perfectly lined up. So I opted for the precision glue instead. So I'm bringing in the Secret Garden die cuts, and I'm showing you all the different colors of pattern paper again, because I'm thinking that I'm going to cut them in the pattern paper, but in the end, what I did is I decided to use the cardstock and the pattern paper. So each one of these larger flowers is 3 layers of the petals and the flowers. So I started with the cardstock, and then I brought in one of the pattern papers and then another layer of cardstock. So it gives you a really nice kind of visual texture to those flowers. And you might be able to tell also that I inked the edges of the flowers in the color of that particular flower instead of the gray. So as I kind of get these flowers built up, and you can see I'm adding some dimension to them and placing them throughout the layout, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the story of Cindy here in the layout. So like I said earlier, Cindy is one of 8 children in this family that I call my adopted family. My best friend Anne, who we grew up together since 4th grade. And I love this family. They're like my second family. The father here that you see in the picture, Bud, has been a role model to me my entire life and really taught me about good work ethic, integrity, and all of those things that made me the person that I am today. And Cindy, being the oldest child, to put this into perspective, she was born in 1956. My mom was born in 1950, so Cindy's just 6 years older than my mom. Anne is the second youngest of the 8, so just kind of gives you an idea of what that broad spectrum of having these 8 children back in that day might have looked like. So I just love Cindy to death. She's one of the nicest, sweetest people that I've ever met. And you're going to see me add a sticker to the title above her name. And the sticker just has the word sweet on it. And I think that's a perfect word that describes who Cindy is. And this sticker I'm adding here has just a little bit of journaling, and it has her birth date because I thought it would be nice to add the birth dates for all of the children that I'm putting into this album for Anne, and a little bit of information about their families. So here, Cindy, you see, is just a picture of Cindy and her father. Cindy is single. She does have MS, so she does not work, but she does volunteer her time. So like I said, she's the sweetest, nicest person that you'll ever know, and she's very giving and generous with her time. And one of the things I like about Cindy is that her and I are pen pals. So I don't know if you would call that an art or skill, but it's one of those lost things that people just don't write letters anymore. But Cindy and I do write back and forth to each other, and she really appreciates my handmade cards. So I enjoy sending them to her and getting letters back from her. And you see I'm kind of bringing in stickers and auditioning them. And in the end, I put that one right back on the carrier sheet because my thought is there's no reason to add a sticker just for the purpose of adding a sticker. So I put it back. I did put a sequence right in the middle of that yellow flower, so I thought it needed something for the center. And then I'm bringing in some pieces from my stash as far as embellishments and putting some of those dots around the, I'm going to call them flower clusters, but they're not really clusters because the flower was so big itself that it didn't really need a cluster. I'm using kind of the leaves to be the cluster. And I'm noticing that this yellow flower on top and then the peach flower right below it is kind of heavy. So in the end, I kind of wished I would have put that bottom peach flower to the right and maybe move that around for a better visual triangle, but I'm still happy with it. I just think it's a little bit heavy the way it is. And you'll see I'm kind of having trouble with my piercing tool with some of these dots. I think my piercing tool lost part of its tip, so it's not as sharp on the end as it used to be. So I'm struggling around with that a little bit, but that's really wrapping it up, guys. It looks great. Okay, let's take another look at the finished layout. And I want you to see a lot of the dimension that I added with these layered flowers. So this one's popped up, and the second layer is glued down, and then this third layer is popped up again. So there's a lot of dimension in here, And then I've got some more dimension up in here with this yellow flower as well, and then the sequins on top. So I really like how the dimension in the flowers, and then I've added that dimension in the title just by layering the cardstock together without having to use the foam tape behind there. Adds that nice extra level of dimension there. So I really am happy with how that turned out. And I think that Cindy and Anne's family will really like this addition into the album that I'm creating for them. And now I only have 7 more children to go, as well as Bud's cover pages. So this is just the first of many layouts in this album, and they will all have a different color scheme and everything. But very excited to get this kicked off, and I hope you enjoyed watching me go through this process and using this new die cut as well. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, let me know. Please add some comments below to let me know what you thought of today's video, and I will certainly get back to you and respond to your comments. And I will see you guys back here next week for another video. Until then, you have a great week and take care. Bye, everybody.